Good morning. Good morning. It is Chit Chat with Char. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This morning, I have the awesome privilege of talking and chatting with Miss Shaye Cunningham. Shaye Cunningham comes to us with over 13 years of experience in the fashion industry. She is my personal stylist and image coach. And I would just like to bring her on and let's talk about some amazing things. Good morning. You look amazing.
Thank you. So do you. I'm so
Thank you.
proud. Good.
Thank you. Thank you. This rain and allergies won't let me be great, but that's okay.
That's okay.
So let's get right into it, Miss Shaye.
Let's do it.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we'll kind of talk about your journey, how you got here, and then we'll dig into some other things.
All right. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for having me, Shar. This is so exciting. I love, supporting and coming on and chatting with lady bosses such as yourself, and then all of your wonderful listeners, I'm sure that will be tuning in. So it's a pleasure, and thank you so much for thinking of me and inviting me.
You're
As
welcome.
Shar said, I'm Shaye Cunningham, also known as Slay by Shaye out in these internet streets. I'm a personal stylist and image coach to professional women, whether it be corporate climbing women or entrepreneurs. So these are the two types of lady bosses that I really do have a passion for, because I have been them or I am them, right? And I've been both and simultaneously at one time. I'm just, listen, I'm a round the way girl from Chicago, South Side, and I followed the path that a lot of people followed in terms of getting the education, getting the degrees, and all of that good stuff. But now I am fully utilizing all the things that I have accumulated over the past, say, 20 something years, um, to
Nice.
package it in a way so that I can help women show up as their best selves and look like the $1 million moves that they're making.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I we were just talking backstage and you and I kind of got together. We determined that it was probably about a year ago.
Yes.
So you took me through like this extensive, really just what I like to say is just looking at myself, looking at my brand, thinking about not only clothes, but the way we wear them, our bodies types and shapes. And we went through a long, and by the end of it, I was just like overwhelmed, but I felt very fortunate to have gone through the experience.
Yes.
I don't like shopping. There was a time in my life where you couldn't keep me out of the stores. I would, every time I got money, I was, somewhere shopping. But
Uh-huh.
then as I got older, I just, the zeal kind of went away. And I think part of that is because I could never figure out what my size was. I would never order anything online because it was either way too small or way too big. And I just couldn't figure out my body type, the kind of clothes that I needed to be wearing. And so that really forced me to not really like that experience, that shopping experience, or even just dealing with clothes altogether.
Mhm, mhm.
So you talked about you having or starting this journey because you were me at one point in time.
Yes.
So let's go back to the very beginning and then work our way up. Because I've seen some pictures of you from back in the day, and you were slaying back in the day, Hunty. I was like, she was a natural at this. So tell us a little bit about that, about your journey and how you've kind of packaged this into your brand and who you are today.
Yes. Well, thank you. So thank you for that compliment too. As I stated, I am from Chicago. I'm from the South Side of Chicago. And those of you who know the Midwest and especially Chicago, there's a flavor that comes along with that culture. And so I have to admit, like, I always have had a particular sense of style, I got that from my lineage. You know, my mom, my grandmothers, my aunties, like they all slayed, right? As I was growing up. And it didn't matter the event, you know, anything from a company picnic to a birthday party. And I know it sounds a little, you know, morbid and sensitive, but a funeral child, they will pop on the hat and slay the funeral. Okay. So, so you know, how you present yourself and how you show up has always been embedded within me, and a part of just the fabric of who I am. But when, you know, when I make the comment that, you know, I've been there, what I mean is that, you know, once I graduated from undergrad, I went to Western Illinois University, which is a small town southwest of Chicago. You know, I did all the things that you know, I think many of us were taught to do, right? Like get that big corporate gig, get to six figures, climb the ladder, that whole thing. And
Yeah.
so what I was faced with at that point was that I mean, as you can see, I have a lot of energy. I have, you know, authentic way of presenting myself, and I wanted to still be able to do that through my style. But I was going into corporate environments that really didn't understand, or and even at that time it wasn't like business casual and you couldn't wear color hair and things like this, right? That was
Right.
like taboo. But I just always felt like if I can't be me authentically, then I can't bring my best self. And
That's true.
so I had to figure out a way to still be taken very seriously in a corporate sector, but still look and represent me for who I am authentically from the inside. Because I knew if I couldn't do that, that I wouldn't bring forth my best self in my work. So from a corporate perspective, I had to figure that out, and I did. And I what I learned is that people respect when you come in an authentic way. Now, they may have to digest it a little bit differently if it's, you know, uh, opposite of the status quo, but
Right.
they do appreciate the genuineness and the authenticity. And so as I learned how to show up in corporate America, still, you know, command attention and authority, and respect, because remember, I was young, right? Like I was in my early 20s and I was in a managerial roles, and it's
Right.
hard to gain, you know, respect, especially as a Black woman and a young Black woman in those types of scenarios and circles.
Right.
So I had to figure it out, and I did successfully. And at that point, I started, you know, a lot of my coworkers and people who were in my circles were like, "Oh my gosh, how do you just pull this off? Like it's never unapproachable. I can tell who you are authentically, and you still bossed up, you know." And
Right.
so I knew that that was just something that I wanted to be able to share and package it in a way that I can help the masses, right? Other female bosses like myself in corporate America who, you know, wanted to continue to boss up, but also wanted to feel authentic and feel beautiful and feminine at the same time. And you can do both, right?
Yeah.
So I just had to figure out the formula and how to multiply that and share that with the masses. And so that's how it really all got started. Say about 14 years ago now. And to be honest with you, Shar, the reason I stepped out on faith and actually decided to turn it into a business is because I had a situation where I had become very disenchanted with the corporate red tape and the politics and all the things, right, that come
Yeah.
along with it. And I had a panic attack at work. And I have never experienced anything like this. This is, you know, my 30s, my early 30s at this point. And I had to take a hiatus. I had to get back in tune with me and figure out what my true purpose was. And I read this book and worked through a workbook called Purpose Driven Life.
Oh,
And
yes.
yes, and so that really helped me work through what gifts and talents God blessed me with and how I can utilize those to bless others and really fulfill my purpose here. And so because fashion, style, making women feel beautiful and powerful are my gifts, I figured out a way to package that and provide that to the masses. And then here you have Slay by Shaye.
Awesome. That's a beautiful story. So you talked about like being in corporate. I think that's a challenge for a lot of women who want to be themselves and want to shine through and be, like you said, authentic.
Mhm.
What do you think, or where do you think the evolution has come from? Because I find that there are more women shifting into just being their authentic self. Is it the entrepreneurial age where everybody is an entrepreneur now? Or where do you think that came from, or the evolution, or has this always just been busting at the seams?
Well, I think we've been suppressed for way too long, right? So I think there are a lot of contributing factors. Number one, I do believe that the society has come to realize the power of Black women. I'm just going to put it out there, right? Uh,
Yeah.
the fact that we are creative, that we are great communicators, that we are nurturers, so we can finesse things in a way and in environments in a way that just about nobody else can, right?
Okay.
That is Black girl magic. When people talk about Black girl magic, I don't think they know how to fully articulate it, but I do think that Black girl magic really does have a impact on um the acceptance now of our power and how unique it is. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying that you have to be African American to have this type of magic. I'm just saying it is magic. And
Yes, auntie.
right, and let's just call it what it is, and if you want to channel it, go for it, child, you know what I'm saying? But it is something to it, and so I do think that that's part of it. The other thing I do think that is part of it is that we are we're strivers, right? Like we are, always looking for up leveling whatever it
Right.
is that we're doing, and so that is magnetic. And that I
Yes.
talk about that a lot with my clients about magnetism. There is something really pure and very true about magnetism. And
Yes.
so when you're able to magnetize the things that you want and desire in your life, then like half the battle is over, right? The other
Right.
just maintaining it, sustaining it, and then just continuing to grow. And so I think society has realized that energy is there, and they're like, hey, if it means you need to wear your hair pink or in red, go ahead and wear your hair pink and red because we need that magic. You know what I mean? And so I
Right.
think I think people who work with small business owners and female entrepreneurs are coming to realize that when a woman or when anybody is stepping into their greatness and they feel good about how they're showing up, they're going to bring their best selves. And so
Right.
I think that's why people are more accepting of people truly expressing who they are. No matter, you don't have to be female to do that, whatever you are, right? Male, female,
Right.
black, white, it doesn't matter. Um, and then lastly, I will say, I just read an article a friend sent to me about Black women entrepreneurs and the surgence of that. Like,
Hmm.
it's insane how many women are like, you know what, I'm about to do my own thing. Now, some of them are choosing to do it simultaneously, right? While
Right.
corporate careers, which I did that too for a year to get myself,
To get that
right.
foundation. Yeah.
um, but there's a huge surgence, and I think what it is that we're like, hey, we can do this. Like I'm gonna tell you what it was for me, Shar. What it was for me is that at the end of the day, I knew what my talents and gifts were. At this point, I knew how to package it, and I knew how to scale it out to an extent
Right.
where we'll talk about that more in a little bit. But I think what it was for me is that I can't, it came down to legacy for my children. So
Right.
I have a 7-year-old son and I have a 13-year-old daughter. And for me, I can't leave my children a corporation, not somebody else's corporation.
That's right.
I can't leave them that, right? If I leave here, I can leave them a life insurance policy. I can leave them material things, clothes, and a car and a house, but I can't
Right.
leave them a business unless I have one, unless I create one.
Right.
And so I that's when I knew that it was time. It was time for me to work on creating something that could start the spark of a legacy for my children and their children and beyond.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's so awesome that you've been able to create something that you love. And to your point, when you love what you're doing, it automatically just, I mean, you are glowing right now as you talk about it.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you are in your thing. And you can tell because it shows up. I mean, you just exude everything about what you're trying to push out. So I love that. I'm so excited about that for you. And I continue to support you and your journey
Thank
and just everything that you're doing.
you.
So let's talk a little bit about your business itself,
Mm-hmm.
how it's structured. Let's for anybody that would like to become a client, how would they get in touch with you? And let's just start the journey of what you would do first and go on through that whole process.
Love it, love it. So first of all, I am Slay by Shay everywhere. You see that? Just about everywhere. That's where you're gonna find me. So Instagram, YouTube. I'm not on Twitter much, but that is my handle on Twitter. My website is slaybyshay.com. And I'm mostly on Facebook. That I just find that my chick is on Facebook mostly,
Hmm.
right? They're on
Hmm.
Instagram. And I'm on LinkedIn as well, of
Okay.
course. So all of those places, I'm Slay by Shay. If you want to contact me, you can go in my DM. My DM is not at the point where I can't manage it, right? It probably will be soon. But right now, you can go in my DM. You can go on my webpage and set up an appointment. Of course, I'm on Facebook. I have my business page on there as Shaye Cunningham, personal stylist and image coach. And then I'm on there as just Shaye Cunningham, right? The other thing that I do, and so I'll just use this as the foundation, Char, is that I have a free Facebook group called Influence Hers That Slay.
Yes.
And by the way, my whole, the whole essence of Slay by Shay is slaying. Duh,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you'll
That's the point of it, right?
you'll get slay almost in anything that is attached to me, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, but the Facebook group is called Influence Hers, HERS, That Slay, and I have about 1,400 ladies in there. Again, female entrepreneurs and corporate executives who are looking to really boss up their style and their image. And so, what I do in there is I drop a lot of great free insights, tips, tricks, things like that. We do challenges, lots of
Yes.
stuff. In fact, Shar, you
Yes.
were
Yes.
part of one of our challenges.
I did. I won the closet cleanse
Yes,
challenge back in 20, was that, it was 2019. Or
that was last
I
year.
don't remember when it was
Yeah,
it,
I know it's a blur because of COVID, child.
it's like they just run together, but yes. So basically that challenge was a closet cleanse.
Mhm.
And I think at that point, that challenge was really what sparked the next step for me, because as I went through that whole challenge and getting rid of all, I mean, I had like 10 bags of clothes
Mhm.
that I'm never going to be able to get into them,
Right.
but
Right.
I kept them thinking that, oh, one day,
Yes.
but 10 bags, 10
Insane.
bags of clothes, and then I probably had about 6 bags of shoes.
Yeah. Yes.
It was ridiculous. I was like, how did all this stuff get in my closet?
Mhm.
But I think that was an awakening for me when I realized that after I cleaned all of that stuff out, I still had lots of pieces. But then one thing that really just struck a chord with me is your question to us as we were doing this cleanse
Mhm.
is, does this piece make you feel good? Does this piece really represent who you are today? And I went even further as I started thinking about that, and I was probably left with like half a closet
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I really had to start all over
Mhm.
because most of the things in my closet were things from years ago. I even had some stuff from like right out of high school that's like, really, I don't care what
Never.
happens, you're never
Even
going to
if
get
it
that
does
size
fit, you're
again.
not wearing
Let's be real about it. but there's always that hope. So yeah, that was a challenge that I won, but I think that was a turning point for me,
Mhm.
to really go through that cleanse and just understand that, we hold on to things for emotional reasons. So and so bought me this, so I don't want to get rid of it.
Yes.
A mess.
A mess, a mess. But listen, Shar, you are not alone. Like I will tell you, 80, maybe 90% of ladies that fit, into this, profile that I keep talking about, same, which is
Mhm.
why I know I'm on the right path of this journey and this mission because we need help, right? Like, so here's the thing. There are certain things as you're growing up that your parents sit down and they teach you, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, how to be
Mhm.
respectful, etiquette at the dinner table. Like, there's certain things that you're taught. But
Right.
style, image, keeping your closet, that's just not one of them typically.
Right. Right.
Like now, financial literacy is like a big trend because your parents finances was always like this secret private thing, right?
Right.
And I think that, maybe they thought, or maybe they weren't taught about style, image, and those types of things. And so we're kind of out here left to figure it out, right?
Right.
And so the fact that now I'm an expert in it now allows me to serve you and women like you in a way that like really can free you. It can be super liberating. So speaking of liberating, I consider your closet, and you heard me talk about this, but for your listeners, I consider your closet as precious real estate.
Yes.
And so when
And
you think,
I knew about real estate.
yeah, there you go, right? And so, right, so think about precious real estate. You're not just gonna put anything, okay, on your precious real estate. You're only
That's
gonna
right.
put things that are worthy to be there. And so your wardrobe should be the same thing. If it is not, if it's a piece that is not worthy of you, meaning your size, meaning how it makes you feel, meaning how it makes you look, meaning how it magnetizes people, if it's not clicking on all those cylinders, then it needs to go because it's taking up space that
Right.
have something there that really does click all those or check all those boxes, right?
Right.
So what I was working on in that particular challenge with Char is how do you manifest what I call a slay sanctuary?
Yes.
Because your wardrobe, your closet should be somewhere that you go and feel empowered and
Yes.
feel like you can take on the world. Like
Mhm.
you might wake up in a lousy mood, but when you go into your slave sanctuary, you're already motivated and inspired to do something amazing. That
Right.
that's what your wardrobe should feel like. And it can feel like that. It takes a little work and a little intentionality to get it there, but
Right.
it can be. It is totally possible. And so um that's what the challenge was all about, and there is a method, to that. It's not like you just get up and you're like, oh, I heard what Shay said, I'm gonna just go in here and clean my closet. No, ma'am. Because
No.
what's gonna happen if you don't ask yourself the right questions, like Shar said, and you're not making those tough decisions, then you're just gonna find yourself in the same space that you were, before, when you had a ton of stuff that you weren't wearing. The other thing about precious real estate is clutter. You
Yeah.
know, there's a such thing as decision fatigue.
Yes.
Decision fatigue basically means, if you haven't heard of that concept, that at some point during the day, after making so many decisions, your
Mhm.
brain starts to shut down. And
Right.
as it shuts down, if it continues to make decisions, it starts to make more poor decisions.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't choose to make decisions, then basically you're like, I'm out for the day, right?
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done.
Right?
I'm
So
tired.
the reason your wardrobe is important to your decision fatigue maintenance, if you will, is because if you have a versatile and a functional wardrobe, you don't have to use so much decision fatigue power to make your wardrobe selection. Because think about it, that's one of the first things you do every day is decide
Yes.
what you're going to wear. Okay.
Right.
If you're spending 15, 20 minutes deciding
You
what
don't
you're
have
going to
time
wear,
for that. Yeah.
you've taxed your brain before you can even get your day started.
Right.
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 So what I aim to do with my clients is to make that a breeze, make that like an afterthought, make that so quick and easy that, like, it's almost not even a decision that you're making. You're like boop 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 and you're gone right on
Right.
the day. So that kind of parlays me, Shar, into, you were talking about the process, right? Do you want to get into that, or did you want to say
Yeah,
more about?
let's go. Let's get into it.
Okay, cool. So if you were to reach out to me, the first thing that I would want to do is have a discovery call. I would want to know and understand your lifestyle, your motivation for doing something different, um, and if you're ready, because that's important. Sometimes we think we're ready, we're not ready.
That's true.
Okay. Psychologically, mentally, as women, we carry a lot of burden. As women, we are always doing and pouring into others, and sometimes it's really hard to say it's time for me, right? It's
Yeah.
for me. It's time for me to put energy into me. It's time
Hmm.
for me to invest in me. And what I find is that in your heart, you're like, I know this, I need this, but you're hesitant to actually make that move. So part of my discovery call is to test that out, right? To really see your level of readiness, your level of commitment, your level of motivation. Um, After that, if we decide to work together, because the vibe has to be right, I
That's
don't
true.
client that I talk to.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so the vibe has to be right. If the vibe is right, we start working together. The first thing that we do is identify what your signature style is. That's the foundation. Like, we got to understand who you are deep down and within, and how you want to show up
Right.
to the world, so that we can have like that blueprint, if you will, right?
Right.
It's just like anything else in life. Unless you define it, unless you are really crisp on your target, you're never really going to fully get there, and you're never going to stay there, because you don't really know what you're going after. So I call that, do you remember, Shar, with your signature statement? Or I already gave up half of it. I call it your slay statement.
The slay statement. Yes, I do remember. And so with the things that you provided for me, I basically went in and made a little booklet that I actually keep in my closet. So
Beautiful.
my slay statement is vibrant, chic, and polished.
Love it.
And when you took me through that process and you came back with some different styles, I was pleasantly surprised at how close you were to, oh, I like that. I love that. And then not only in that process, you also brought to me things that I hadn't even considered.
Right. Right.
So with that, the slay statement, I also have like a little booklet that I keep in my closet for inspiration. But then if you know me at all, you know I'm a vision board crazy woman. So I basically took everything that she had provided me with and created a vision board that I actually keep in my closet as well. One
Love.
of the things that really, really helped me, like you said, was organizing my closet in a way that I wasn't spending 30 minutes trying on clothes to
Mm-hmm.
figure out, is this going to fit me today? Or, what I need to do with this situation, because that's where a lot of my time was being spent, was
Yes.
trying to figure out, how does this look on me today? And I feel like for some reason, my weight was fluctuating in a way that, I can wear something one month and then the next time I go to wear it again, it's like, ew, who would wear this anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
So being able to cleanse my closet in a way to have access to things. And I know you're probably going to get into this, but color coordinating the closet, putting things like the way my closet is set up is I have my pants on the lower shelf or rack, and then shirts on the top, and they're right above each other. So if I'm going to wear a skirt or bottom, jeans or whatever, I can kind of look at the top and instantly see what's going with what.
Yes.
And I mean, 5 minutes. I
Yes.
can get in there, grab something, and then I also have like my accessories set up in a way to where I can go and grab that. But all of that was really, I attribute all that to you because something that you need to do, but it's like, how do you start? And when you
Yeah.
have a closet like mine, where you have like 10 bags of clothes that you have to get rid of, it's hard. You don't
It's
even know
hard.
where to start.
Yes.
And it just feels difficult sometimes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's emotional. I
There.
didn't realize how emotional that process could be.
Yes.
But it is an emotional thing. And so to call it a cleanse, I think is a perfect way to identify that.
It truly is. I can't tell you how many women, when before COVID, when I was actually going on location with clients, would cry. I mean, it's an emotional time. Some would curse me out.
I think I was at that point when we went shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, we had fun.
Yes.
But I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, you had me trying on things, and the whole process was like, it was fun, but it was nerve wracking
Yes. Yes.
all at the same
Yes.
time. And
Yes.
then when you're doing something like that, where you're reconstructing your closet, you got a budget for that thing. That's
Yes.
not
Yes.
something that you just wake up and say,
On
I'm
a
going
whim.
shopping. You
Mm-hmm.
have to really budget and plan because I
Mm-hmm.
spent more money than I wanted to spend
Mm-hmm.
during that trip,
Yeah.
but I have some really good pieces that
Mhm.
I think are timeless. And
Correct.
I'll be able to use those pieces to
Years.
yeah.
Yes.
And it's in a
And
way that is
you know,
say it
you
again,
you and not just with one thing, you'll be able to wear these pieces with multiple things.
very
That's
versatile.
yes, the versatility is where the power is. So, I have this thing. It's not me. I mean, it's a fashion industry thing, but it's called CPW, which is cost per wear. And so what I always try to instill in my clients is when you're looking at investing in a piece, ask yourself, what is the CPW, cost per wear? So if I buy this $100 dress, how many times am I actually going to wear it? If I wear it 4 times, then the CPW is $25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if I spend $100 on this dress and I only wear it 1 time, the CPW is $100. So it doesn't make sense to spend $100 on it if that's not, in your budgetary means, if you're only going to wear it 1 time. But if you're going to
Right.
wear it 4 times and you can think of specifically, I can wear this to this, and this, and you wear it 4 times, $25 is nothing because guess what? If you were to shop individually for those 4 occasions and not wear that dress, then you're going to spend way more than $25 for whatever it is,
Right. Right.
right? So
Yes.
it's being smart, it's being savvy, right, about that thing.
Right.
And so CPW is so, so important. So when I went shopping with you, Char, it was about getting you foundational pieces that
Right.
you could wear right away, that you could easily flex into your current wardrobe, and that you can wear multiple times in different ways and to different types of occasions.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think of you all the time as I'm going through my journey and when I purchase clothes, I think about that. Like, am I going to wear this more than once? One of
Yes.
the things that you mentioned that we talked about a lot is what you called fast fashion. And I
Hmm.
think I was in that category where I wanted to buy something that was very inexpensive that I wasn't tied to and it just didn't last. I mean, the stuff did not last. So when you think about like wearing it multiple times, you have to have the quality is what I came to understand.
Hmm.
The quality of the pieces, because if you buy something that's considered fast fashion, then you go to wear it that second time, it may be stretched out, the material may have faded, whatever it does.
Yep.
So there's all those things that come into play when you
Mhm.
think about, just having, those signature pieces, versatile pieces that you can use over and over again.
Yes, you nailed it. You're such a great
Oh,
pupil.
I was trained by the best.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Fast fashion, it can be fun because it keeps you on trend, right? Because fast fashion is basically when the runways you know, provide, hey, what's hot, what's, not the most, you know, coveted designers put out their stuff. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Nathan.
Um they put their thing out there, and so what happens is the fast fashion companies, so your Zara's, your H&M's, your Targets, they then replicate those styles, right? Because
Right,
they want to put things out on their, on their what do you call it, the hallway, not hallways, but you know what I mean.
right.
Aisles.
On display.
Yeah, on display in the aisles that will catch your eye. Something that's
Right,
fresh, something that's funky, something that feels, current. So they replicate and they copy what was on the runway. And so you see it and you're like, oh my gosh, that's
ooh,
so awesome. That's so fabulous. And it is. And you can incorporate some of those things, but just know that 9 times out of 10, because I have found a few like quality pieces at these fast fashion places that have lasted me for years, but it's rare. Okay.
right.
But just know that when you do that, number one, you shouldn't spend more than $30 on it, 30, maybe 40 at the most on any piece in
Mhm.
fast fashion.
Right,
And know that it's probably not going to last you more than 2 wears, right?
right,
Which is actually kind of fine when it comes to trends because they don't last long anyway. You start looking
right,
like 2 years before really fast, right? So
right, right,
it's okay if you invest a little bit in fast fashion, but not make that the cornerstone and the core of your wardrobe, because
right.
you will be quickly disappointed, or you will start accumulating crap. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
was me. I mean, seriously, that was why I had 10 bags of clothes
hmm,
to get rid of because I had never been interested in finding any signature pieces.
yeah,
I want, there's a shoe store here in Dallas, the 9.99 shoe store.
yes.
Is that what it's called? Is
I
it
don't,
called?
child, I don't know. I stay away from them places.
Well, I call it the dollar shoe store. But I can remember like when I first moved here to Dallas, going into that store, and me and my mom and my aunts, we would go into this store and it's replica
Right,
stuff, right?
right,
We would go in this store, and I remember one time going into the store and I had so many shoes in my hands that I could barely walk. Like I was like walking through the store,
right.
with all these shoes, and I just something clicked. It's like, how ridiculous do I look walking through the store with all of these shoes?
Yeah.
So I politely put them down, and I didn't get anything that day, but it was just one of those things where it's like it's easy, it's inexpensive, and
Hmm,
like you said, you accumulate much more than you actually need, and you wear it once or twice, and
hmm,
they're not doing like a closet cleanse on an annual basis.
hmm.
Every year you're adding on, and before you know it, you just have a closet full of stuff that you can't really wear.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you, the other thing that I find is that we do suffer from I mean, as a society, maybe not men as much as women, but we do suffer from emotional shopping, right? Like, so
Yeah.
sometimes, and especially with email marketing, this email marketing age, you're going to get probably 10 emails from different stores that you have, purchased things from a day, right? Like, you're
Yes.
it every day. You're going to get an email about a sale, a special, a bonus,
Yes.
something to get you to spend. And I get it. That's why their business is to sell fashion, right?
Right.
But when you don't, sometimes we just click the button, see something cute, and just buy it because it feels good, right? It's something
Yes.
about it that is satisfying, because
Yes.
it's like, I got the money, I could do it, it looks good, and I'm gonna have something come in the mail, right?
Yes. And I don't think that like Amazon helps us
No,
because when you can get that one
no,
click and you buy it, you mean I can just push a button and buy it? It's in my cart and going to be shipped the next day. That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
It's
It's very
dangerous.
so, I feel like I have a very important mission to help my clients at least know and understand how to filter and how to have some restraint. Because even if that does make you feel good, at least you have the little shade on your shoulder. Because so people tell me this all the time, like I feel like you're on my shoulder, whispering when
Yes.
I'm making decisions.
Yes.
But for my clients, I just hope that they hear me saying, hey, what's the CPW on that? Does that fit your signature style? Is
Right.
that right for your body shape? Do you already have something similar to that in your closet? Are you willing to give away something to add this? Like these
Yes.
are all the things, these are all the gems, these are all the clips that I leave with my clients that I hope, and from what I hear it does, help them make better, more savvy decisions.
Well, I know it's helped me for sure. We talk about that closet cleanse. Um, I probably had about 6 or 7 black tops.
Right. That's so.
I don't know why I had so many, but they were all very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could have been the same top with different, cuts or whatever, but it's like that buying over and over again. And I cannot speak enough about, the closet cleanse, because when you know what's in your closet, then that helps you when you're out and about not to purchase something that you already have that's very close to what you already have in your closet.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. And Shar, we didn't really get to, while we were working together really intimately, we didn't really get to utilize the digital closet technology that I have, but I will tell you that that is so, so helpful in what you just said, because with that digital closet technology, I'm able to see everything in your wardrobe. And so
Hmm.
I can call you out on that kind of stuff, right? Like be
Yeah.
like, hey sis, you got three things here that's looking very, very similar. Let's break this down, get it to one, or if it's two, they need to have something significantly different
Right.
to justify having it, right?
Right.
Because again, we're always protecting that precious real estate, right, in our
Yeah.
world. So yeah, my technology is amazing in helping with that. And why I'm trying to keep the closet clean as well is because with that technology, I can also put together outfits,
Hmm.
for you and show you how to, kind of like Pinterest. For those of
Yes.
you who have never seen this type of technology, it's kind of like Pinterest when you see people put together a whole outfit with the accessories and the shoes and all the things and the top and the bottom and what have you. I can do that with my technology, and it's so liberating for my clients. And talk about not having to think about what to put on. They just go on their app and click on workwear, and I will have 27 different outfits there
Or
for
pieces.
you
Yeah.
know it's amazing, to be able to do that now in this technology age. So where did we get to? So we talked about signature style. We didn't
Yep.
talk about body shape style, which is actually my niche. You know how everybody in their business, I don't know, what is yours in real estate? Like what's like your sweet spot, the thing you do like exceptionally well?
I would say for me, it's just working with buyers or seller. It doesn't really matter, but I think I have a really good niche of education and
Yes.
walking people through the process. And I think that's what has made my business so successful is there's a teacher in me somewhere,
Yeah.
and I have a way of communicating that makes the process a little easier. It makes it less stressful. And I think my niche would probably be to mitigating stress.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And it's such a stressful process that is invaluable if you can do that.
Yeah.
So for me, it is body shape styling. It
Yeah.
is helping the woman understand, first of all, and appreciate the skin that she is in, right? And show her that she can be beautiful, feminine, powerful, sexy in the skin that she is in, and not constantly be like all the, self deprecating and self defeating thoughts of, oh, I can't wear this because I'm too this, or I don't have enough that, or what have you. the thing is, we're all beautiful in how we're made. Like, we're
Right.
uniquely made for a reason. The key is understanding how you're set up so that you only wear the things that make you look the most flattering, and
Right.
that don't, they just not for you, boo, right? Like,
Yes.
that's it. And it's not a you thing, right? It's just
Right.
that it wasn't made for you. And so I really, that's my niche, is I'm very passionate about helping women identify their body shape and know that they can look however they want to look if they have that discerning eye of cuts and silhouette and so forth. And so I do train and I educate them on that so that when they're making purchases, they can do it with an educated eye, with a good,
Right.
keen eye for what works. This helps mentally and psychologically as well, because many women find themselves with, let's say, 20 pieces going into the dressing room and
Right.
find themselves coming out with maybe two. Well,
Right.
you go in with 20 pieces, you come out with two. That's deflating. That's very depressing, very deflating, very, it's a icky feeling. And what it typically leaves women with is self-doubt. And
Right.
you have way too much power and way too much brilliance to be walking out of a dressing room doubting yourself.
Right.
So what I help with is, when you're out there selecting those 20 pieces, you're using a discerning eye. And maybe you
Hmm.
get 20 pieces and come out with 15 or 10 versus two, right? Because
Right.
you know what to leave on the rack and you know what to take off the rack.
Exactly.
Powerful in and of itself.
It is. It is. So one of the things, and I'm just going to show, so you have like in the presentation that you provided for me,
Mm-hmm.
you have a section that says goals and what to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
So that has helped me so much in
Mm-hmm.
just understanding, okay, this is my goal and
Yep.
this is what I need to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that me personally that I have not, there's two areas on my body that I just, it's like, can you just do away with them? So one is my arms. I feel like my arms are way too big and
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to find an exercise that can do that. So while I'm working on, losing that arm fat and
Mm-hmm.
then my belly fat.
Mm-hmm.
So those were two areas that we really targeted
Mm-hmm.
in shopping. So when you provided me with a list of things to avoid, it made all the difference
Yes.
because I complain about my midsection, but then I love wearing high waist pants. And
Right.
that just doesn't really
It doesn't.
work
Right.
all the time for, what we're trying to accomplish and
Yes.
the goal.
Yes. Yes.
So that was one thing that I really, really, and to this day, I use that. Like I said, I have my vision board in my closet. I also have it on my phone so that when I'm out and about,
Yes.
it's a refresher
Yes.
because sometimes I don't plan to shop. And I think that happens with a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make plans to go shopping. It's just like you just end up, in Target. You
Yes.
went in there for one thing
Yeah.
and oh, well, let me just go check out, what they have,
Mhm.
what's in season
Right.
or what's in style.
Yeah.
Having the do's and don'ts, if you will, top of mind,
Yes.
for me, it helps save a lot because I think part of what I would do too is I would buy something and not be able to fit it when I got it home and just didn't feel like taking it back.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff in my closet that still had tags on it
Yes. Yes.
because when I got it home, it's like,
Ugh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then it just becomes another job to take it back, right? And psychologically too, it's again, it's suppressing to have to take something back because it doesn't fit,
right,
you know, especially during COVID, because for a long time now they're loosening up with the fitting rooms, but for a while there you couldn't even try things on, even if
right,
if they were selling clothing or whatever. So it's tough, but when your body shape, you know what to go after and you know what to avoid, it does make it that much more easy.
yes,
The other thing I would highlight when it comes to body shape styling is not to get all up in your feelings about the size on the tag, right, in the clothes, because manufacturers, they build out these garments with, you know, your with forms, right, and with models. And listen, we are all so, you can have two women 200 pounds, but depending on their height and how their body shape is composed, will
Right.
look completely different in the same dress.
Outfit. Yep. Yep. That
Okay?
reminds me of, is it in People magazine where they have who wore it best?
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what that reminds me of
Yeah.
is, having the same outfit that's beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but it can accentuate a different part of somebody else's body.
Correct. Correct.
So that's
I just say to the ladies, just remember, and men, just remember that not everything made is for you. And that's not about, it's not saying that you're bad or that you're set up bad. You're set up beautifully. It's just that that wasn't made for you.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's just like, okay, next, move on to the next thing, right?
Right.
And then you'll even find, so one of my favorite places to shop is Nordstrom, just for the sheer variety and the service quality.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
what I have found sometimes on shopping trips, and we found it on yours, in one brand, you may be a size 6, and another one, you may be a size 10. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
don't in your feel, you're the same person. You're the same person in the same fitting room at the same time, but you fit a 6 in one brand and cut and style, and you fit a 10. That's okay. That does not define you, right?
Right.
That
Right.
number in there does not define you. And not only that, nobody sees that but you. And if you don't like
Right.
it, cut it out after.
Right. That's
You know,
right.
somebody needs to know that. You know what I mean? So we just get in our fields just for societal reasons, right? But
Right.
it's no need to do that. It just doesn't matter. What matters is the fit. What matters is if you look and feel amazing in it. That's what matters.
That's the bottom line.
It just doesn't matter. I mean, we see so many women of all shapes and sizes that look impeccable. And why we get up in our fields and we're not that perfect size 6 or 8 or whatever in your mind is perfect, I don't understand it. But that's why I'm here to help, because you can be and look amazing in at any shape and size. you know
Right.
it is so possible. And the other thing, again, my clientele, you're bossed up ladies, right? So fit is really important anyway, because it shows effort. It shows that you care about
Yeah.
show up, right? And it's a part of your brand. It's a part of how people receive you. And if you find something that doesn't fit exactly right how you need it to, there's nothing wrong with alterations. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
Listen, most of the celebrities that we see on the red carpet and doing, at these fabulous events and stuff, they didn't get that stuff off the rack and it looked amazing on them. They got that stuff altered. They got
Altered.
fit for them, custom.
Right.
That's why it fits them like a glove. That's why they look impeccable and amazing, because they do custom fitting, and you can do it too.
Right.
You can do it too. Find you a good tailor near you. Don't fool around with the cleaners. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They can do it
Okay.
him. They can do it him, and they might be able to take in something here or there, but don't trust them with your wardrobe per se. Get someone
Right.
who is really skilled and really crafted, and make them your go-to. And when something isn't at perfection, go to them and get it right so that it looks amazing on you. Okay. Just keep in mind, whatever you do, that adds to the price of the garment. So if it's $100 garment and you have to get it, altered for $20 or $30, now all of a sudden it's $120 garment. So just keep that
Right.
in mind. But it's worth it. It's worth it to not be pulling
Yes.
and tugging and feeling insecure. It's so worth it, you know?
It's so important that you say that too, because boss ladies, and that's what we're talking about. When we're out and about, we need to be comfortable. We need to, the piece needs to look, or pieces need to look good, but then you just don't want to tug and pull. And I mean, I've been guilty of that, trying to squeeze his body into
Mm-hmm.
something and then spend the whole day tugging and pulling
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a natural fit.
Yes.
So we talked about all of that, which is all great information.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your inspiration or encouragement for someone who is out there, any of our listeners or viewers that's out there and they don't really know where to start? What piece of advice or encouragement would you give to someone?
Yeah, so for me, again, it's my process. It would be to first really do some soul searching and figure out how it is that you want to show up. Do you want to
Yeah.
show up confident, polished, glamorous? For me, my slay statement is urban chic sass, because for me, I need to always show up in a way that honors where I come from. So that's where
Yeah.
the urban part comes in. So I'm always
Yeah.
show up with a little bit of edge, which is why you see these cutouts, right?
Yes.
So those are
Cute.
all the elements of my style and how I show up. Um, you're always going to see me on point with my fashion. So that's where the chic comes in, the stylishness. And then sassy, meaning that I'm a girly girl, right? I like
Yes.
things, I like glamorous things. So that's where you see like the hints of glimmers of gold and things like that. That's how I express my sassiness, right?
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, what is it for you, right? What is a three-word mantra that makes you feel authentically you from the inside and how you show that on the outside? And I would advise you to go on Pinterest to get inspiration, to get visual representation of what that is. And also think about any like style muses, style icons that really speak to you. Like for me, for my urban side, like Mary J. Blige gives me all kind of life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She does it in such a, she's edgy, but she does it in a classy and sophisticated
Yes.
way.
Yes.
So she's my, crush, my style crush, when it comes to my urban aesthetic. And then
Right.
I liked, I can't think of her name, but on Scandal, whatever her
Um,
Scandal, I
I
loved.
cannot think. Oh, no, it's not Olivia. That's
Oh,
who she is in
Olivia
Scandal.
Pope was the character, but
Right. What is her name? I could see her face right now.
Kerry Washington, Kerry
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
So not, I mean, I'm not even so much into her personal style as I am the Olivia Pope character,
Hope.
right? Like
Right.
jackets, I want whoever style her in those jackets, I want all those jackets, right?
Yes. With
Um,
the belts.
yeah,
Oh, amazing.
life,
Yes.
life, right? So, so that, right? Like, so identifying, people who give you energy, people who give you life, figuring out who your style muses are, and really putting a word to it, really describing what it is and how you want to show up. So that's the first place I would start, because if you don't know what that is, you're going to constantly be chasing after either replicating somebody else or not fully showing up as your authentic self, and that's
Right.
going to be and over again frustrating. And then the second thing is figure out your body shape, um,
Yes.
so that you know how to accentuate your assets and de-emphasize the things that you would rather not, right, be shown.
Right.
And so a easy way to do that, there's tons of body shape calculators out online. All you need are three main measurements: your bust line measurement, your waistline, and your hip line. Plug that in, it'll tell you, whether you're pear shape or triangle or whatever, right? And then again, you can use Pinterest to be your guide and tell you, hey, I'm, a petite apple shaped lady. What are the best things to wear? And girl, I'm telling you, it's just gonna spit out so much inspiration. Um,
Right.
it's super
I
helpful.
know.
That's if
Trust
you
me, I know.
right. If you're a DIYer, that's what I would advise, Char. But if you really want, one-on-one attention, you really want somebody to coach you along the way, inspire you, challenge you, cheer you on, then you need someone like me, right? You need a personal stylist,
Absolutely.
you need a
Absolutely.
coach, somebody who's going to be there, give you the attention that you need to actually go through the journey.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're
We are
welcome.
needing to wrap this up.
Yes.
This was an amazing show. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for me
You're
personally. I mean, like I said, you said that, they carry you on your shoulder. I'm just like them. So love everything that we've talked about on today. This has been Chit Chat with Shar. Our mission and everything that we do here is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate. We want to cultivate meaningful relationships. And then we also want to put small businesses under the spotlight so that you can shine. A lot of the reason why some businesses are not successful is because people don't know about them.
welcome.
So this is my contribution to everyone that I come in contact with. Is just to be able to put you on spotlight and to be able to share exactly what it is that you're doing. Again, this has been Chit Chat with Shar. You can connect with us on any of the platforms. Connect with Slay by Shay. And if you're not a part of the free group, Influence Hers, I would highly advise you to be a part of that group. Thank you so much. And you guys have a wonderful day.
Bye.